welcome to another edition of the Verde Valley Experience. I'm your host, Jennifer Cohen, and of course, we've got another great show for you this time. This show really is all about health and wellness, the health of you, your body, your mind, your soul, your past, present, future, your pet, and of course, the health of our diverse Old West history while we're out here. The summer months can be uncomfortable, even dangerous for pets and for people. It's difficult to simply cope with the rising temperatures, but there's a few other things you should focus on. So we're going to have Dr. Jennifer Gummo-Wagner from Verde Vet Hospital, who will be here to tell us how to keep our pets healthy and happy during the summer months. Jane Davey, the market manager of the Verde Valley Farmers Market, will be with us to let us in on what we can look forward to during the 11th season of the market, which is in Camp Verde. Erin Koenig, body advocate and licensed massage therapist, will be in the studio to enlighten us on the power of integrative body work and its effects on our bodies and minds. Michael L. Brown, MSSW, past life regression therapist and spiritual counsel, will be here and may possibly challenge your current belief system about past lives and past life regression during this episode of the Verde Valley Experience. Very exciting. Then we'll be on location with Ron Mawson, who is the president of the Sedona Historical Society, and we will be at the Sedona Heritage Museum on Jordan Road in where you guessed it, in Sedona. And we're going to be discussing how to keep history healthy in Sedona, alive and well, with the restoration of the old telegraph office, which is a very, very cool project you'll want to know about. And we'll finish out our show today with singer-songwriter Cara Marie. And she'll be here to share a few songs from her newly released album, Cara's Mosaic, I Surrender. So it's going to be a really great show, lots of good stuff happening. So stick with us, we've got lots of good things. And I'm going to start off the show today with Jane Davey, the market manager of the Verde Valley Farmers Market. Thank you, Jane.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Nice to see you. Thank you for bringing all these wonderful,
You're welcome.
this amazing bounty.
Thank you.
That's wow. I'm so impressed, and it smells really good in here. If it was smell-o-vision, you'd know, but just all the wonderful fresh vegetables. So the market is open.
The market is open. Tomorrow will be our third market.
Nice.
We've been around this is our 11th season. And in order to sell at our market, everything has to be grown within 50 miles of Camp Verde, so we like to keep it truly local.
Nice. That's great. And you've got quite a selection. You've got eggs and onions and garlic and potatoes and apricots. And
whenever you come to the market, this hall would be very representative of what you would find at our market from our different vendors. Obviously produce. Our fruits are just starting to come in, the apricots and the plums. Right now we've got the beginning of the season things, onions, garlics. And then we'll move into corn, potatoes, tomatoes, squash, peppers. Some of the other items that we carry, pecans grow really well in Camp Verde, so we have pecan vendors. Several of our vendors have fresh eggs, farm fresh eggs. Greens, we've got like salad greens, different herbs, cilantro, sage, kale. We have the honey man, cowboy honey.
ooh,
So there we go.
nice cowboy honey.
Yeah, some honey there. We have several vendors that bring flowers. We have the Crazy Goat Soap Lady. She raises goats and she makes different soaps, lotions, things like that.
Wow.
We also have Wingfield Bread Company. They grind their own bread out of the wheat berries, which is very different, and you can buy their freshly milled flour there also.
Wow. That's really good to know.
Yeah.
You can have a nice, well-rounded meal. Plus, you also have beef, correct?
Yes, we do. From Dewey, Arizona, we have Legacy Beef. They come. And we also have a chicken vendor.
A chicken vendor.
You can plan your whole dinner at the farmer's market.
You can have a whole meal at the farmer's
Yes,
market,
you can.
including a table with flowers you can put out there and lotion so you smell all good. Got it completely well-rounded over there at the farmer's market in Camp Verde. Well, that's great. You guys do it on Saturdays.
Yes.
Every Saturday from 8 until noon. And besides wonderful things to look at, you also have wonderful things to listen to because you have musicians.
Yes, we do. We have local music every week. It starts around 9 in the morning, runs till noon. And it is nice. It's just local, you know, small little, not big bands or anything, just a little kind of background music.
Oh, that's great. So it's a nice event to go to as well, something to do on Saturday mornings with the kids, that's outside, that's fresh, and you can plan your meals. It's so very important to eat local. It's so very important to support the local farmers. And for health reasons, I mean, you can't get any better food than what we've got here. I recently saw a movie, it's called Fed Up, and they really stressed shop local, shop farmers markets, really encourage folks to grow wonderful, healthy, organic foods, because that's what's going to help us thrive. And I can see by what you have here, they're all just beautiful. And another thing that I love about you guys is, you know, if you have two black thumbs like I do, having some expert advice is always really nice. And you guys have master gardeners available on hand.
The master gardeners from Yavapai County, they both staff a booth there. And so if you have any problems, you can bring leaves or the plant, and they will help you diagnose what is wrong, as well as learning how to plant a garden. They'll give you tips on times to plant, when to harvest things. And it's a very valuable tool for us to have for the customers.
Yeah, this is very important, because if you do it wrong, you're just wasting your money. I have this garden, it's basically a pile of weeds at the moment. I keep saying, this year I'm going to do my garden, this year I'm going to do my garden. Well, thank you for having the farmer's market, because I can go another year without having to do my garden and still eat really, really well. So it's a wonderful community-based thing, getting together. And you have a little cute thing that you do. Well, show us that wonderful thing that you do for the kids who join into the farmer's market fund.
Jennifer, every week when I'm picking the vegetables, I see things. Which way is my best? Okay. I see things as I'm picking them. And this week, kind of a lion, maybe a dragon. But when the kids come to the market, I like to test their knowledge and see if they know what the vegetables are that I use. And some of the kids are pretty savvy, and some kids not so much savvy, so it's a learning experience. So they learn that, you know, there's other things besides potatoes and carrots, that there's other vegetables they get to know. So
fun
that's
with
my little
food.
Creature. Yes, fun with food. Play with your food. So
how long have you been making food critters, Jane?
Oh, if you go on our Facebook page, you'll see there's the critter area you can go to and see.
Really?
Hundreds. I've made hundreds.
On your Facebook page. Don't you love Facebook? Social media is so great. We can all see into each other's lives so well. So now that I know that, I will go look for the critter animals.
Yes.
Jane's Critter Animals on their Facebook page. So check out the Verde Valley Farmers Market, which is in Camp Verde, on their Facebook page. They've got to check that out for sure. And then, of course, go on down any Saturday from 8 a.m. till noon. That runs till October 4th.
Yes.
That's great. So does that coincide with the end of the growing season?
It gets towards the end of the season, and we're in a really nice covered ramada right next to Fort Verde State Park. And the following week, they do have their Fort Verde days. So
that's
that
right.
kind of
ends
our season for us.
It is a wonderful location.
Yes, it
you
is.
Guys, right there.
Yes, very nice.
Right
cool.
near the fort. And that's Main Street, isn't it?
Right off of Main Street on Holloman.
On Holloman.
And it's handicapped accessible.
And there's lots of parking.
Yes.
Right there around the corner. So you can park, bring your own bag, of course, that's always a good thing, and a shop, and bring cuttings if you've got questions for the master gardeners, or, of course, bring your camera to take a picture of Jane's critter creatures.
Yes.
Listen to some great music, the bread, the honey, it's completely well-rounded.
Yes,
I just love that. And of course you brought everything that I like, veggies and fruits and wonderful flowers and goat milk soap. There's a lot about, if you don't know about goat milk products, you check it out, because goat milk is really good for you in a lot of different ways, especially if you have skin issues.
Yes, that is very
true.
true.
Has a skin issue, so and you can talk to her while she's there.
Yes.
Talk about goats.
Yes.
That's always fun. Yeah, the goats make me laugh, so. Jane, I'm so glad you joined us, and thank you for bringing this wonderful
You're
bounty with
welcome.
you today. You've made me hungry.
What did you want to start munching on?
I know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I could eat some garlic. Everybody would love that.
Yeah.
So go ahead and get yourself down to the Verde Valley Farmers Market, which is in Camp Verde. It runs every Saturday from June 7th, so it's already running, until October 4th from 8 a.m. till 12 noon. It's at the Town Ramada, right next to the Fort Verde State Park on Holloman Street off of Main in Camp Verde. Jane Davey, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer, for having me.
Thank you so much. Jane Davey, the market manager of the Verde Valley Farmers Market. So don't go away, because we've got lots more show. Be right back.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun? Whoa, 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 can you feel the sun?
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great. I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. I'm here now with Dr. Jennifer Gummo-Wagner, and she is from the Verde Vet Hospital, going to enlighten us a little bit on how to keep our pets healthy and happy during the wonderful Arizona summer months. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's nice to be here.
Yeah, our pets are such an important part of our lives, and it can be very stressful to have all this heat and extra sun around, so I'm really glad that you're here to tell us how to keep our pets happy and safe.
Okay.
What are a few of the things? I mean, we know don't keep them in a locked car, obviously, because, you know, that's big no-no. But what other kind of things do we need to know?
Wow, our climate is just so not suited for our pets. We can do all kinds of things for ourselves, but just going for a walk to go potty is sometimes enough to do damage to a dog's paws on the hot summer concrete. So we have to be very careful about making sure that the temperature is very good. You know, we're either very early in the morning or fairly late in the evening, you know, doing a spot test, so getting down there and actually putting your own hand or even, you know, sensitive wrist down on the pavement and seeing how it feels to you.
Sure. That's not something most people would think about. Test the concrete or the asphalt before you put your dog on it, because you figure their little paws are hitting it. I mean, it's not something I ever thought of until I experienced my dog going, "Ow, Mom, that's really hot. I'm not walking over there." And then I figured it out. So that's just not a normal thing that people think about, is the heat of the asphalt.
When we first moved to Arizona, we had to carry our dog almost a mile because we started at a very early morning hike and it ended up in sand. Late morning, but enough to really be frying her paws. So, yeah.
So you had to get, how big is your dog?
She was about 80 pounds.
80 pounds a mile.
So there's some passing.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So keep that in mind. Test the asphalt, kind of like a baby's milk. You test the milk on your wrist. Test the asphalt before you put your dog's little pitty paws on there. What other kind of things do we not normally think of that we should really think of?
So obviously the car in the summertime. Even, you know, even for a minute. I mean, little known fact that, you know, it's illegal to leave your child in a car.
Right.
It's good reason, even for a minute. So, I mean, you should think about, you know, the dog is as helpless as the baby, and even with the window rolled down, or, oh, I'm just going to go in for, you know, a few seconds, you can get deterred. It gets hot within minutes. Within
minutes. And I saw that it can get up to around 145 degrees within just a few moments, which is enough to boil anybody's brain.
Yep, and they can't sweat. They can only sweat through their foot pads and their drooling.
Right, yeah. So we should keep in mind not to exercise our animals too hard.
Exactly,
right now. Yeah, I have a dog that I take with me when I go horseback riding, and I don't take her this time of year. Even if I go extremely early in the morning, it's too warm by 8 o'clock. By 8 o'clock, it's 80-something degrees, and we're out there running around, so it's not something we can do. So the best thing, what would you suggest for giving our dogs exercise, or our cats, or whatever it is we're out there walking, without overheating them?
I think either very early, very towards late, or doing indoor activities as much as possible during the, you know, the worst of the summer.
Right. So lots of playing.
Yeah.
Lots of playing with the toys and the balls.
Fetch down the hallway.
And down the stairs and up the stairs, and it's kind of fun. Actually. And you know, one thing people don't think about is fans really don't cool animals like they do humans because of the sweat factor. Without the sweat, the fans don't work. So air conditioning. It's time to turn on the air conditioning.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, keep the animals cool for there. And tell us a little bit about heat stroke. How does heat stroke happen in animals?
So heat stroke can happen very quickly and progress through its stages very quickly. You know, your mildest form of heat stroke, you're just getting a little dehydrated because you're sweating through your foot pads, you're panting a little bit, and you're panting a little bit more and heavier, and suddenly saliva's getting a little bit more thick and less watery, so you're getting a little more dehydrated, and then your temp starts to go up and up and up, starts to be harder to breathe and hotter to breathe. You get later on in heat stroke, your organs start to lose function.
Oh dear.
You can lose consciousness, can seizure. Horrible thing to see.
Goodness, and that happens probably pretty quickly around here.
We've had people come in with a heat stroked animal that they said, I swear it was 5 minutes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's all it takes. When you can't sweat, you know, their cooling systems are so limited. That's pretty scary.
It is. dangerous.
Yeah, so you should watch for your dog getting pretty lethargic, or what are some of the first signs?
Doing that excess panting. If you ever see your cat pant, it's already a little further than it should have gone, and get to cooling as quickly as possible. But same with dogs, you know, they're starting to pant heavily, more intensely. You know, they're not barking or greeting you or looking in between chins. They're just standing there panting. You're in a crisis already.
All right, and what should we do at that point?
Get cooling as fast as possible. So if you have access to, you know, a hose or something, just hosing down or dunking into water. If you have rubbing alcohol, you can put that on the foot pads.
Really?
And kind of that'll help increase evaporation and cooling.
Wow. Well, I don't want to be dunking my cat in the water. I don't know about your cat, but my cat won't go for that. My dog wouldn't go for that either. So, but that's good to know if we start to see the signs to get them cooler. And then if it still continues, obviously, you should call your veterinarian, because, you know, the extreme temperatures out here, it happens very, very quickly. And, you know, what animals are particular risk for heat stroke?
So your biggest risk are your ones that don't ventilate well, so smush faces. So if you're thinking cats, the Persian, the Burmese, the smush face cats, dogs, pugs, Shih Tzus, boxers. You know, we always think boxers are being big, tough dogs, but they don't have much ventilation.
That's true. Can you give your animals ice water if they would drink it? Is that okay, or is that too much?
Oh, that's a little bit of a controversy.
Yeah.
I think it's probably fine.
Yeah. I know the dog likes to play. I drop ice out of every time I go get an ice cube out of the freezer, I drop it on the floor. And the dog likes to play with it and make a huge mess. But it would be okay. They wouldn't go into shock if they
No. Yeah. It's more the fear of breaking a tooth. And
right. Just like humans. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's really good to know. So keep in mind, if you think it's a little warm, your dog or your cat or your guinea pig or whomever thinks it's really, really warm, check the concrete, check the roads, make sure when you're out early or really late. Keep it limited, which is what it seems like right now. They can have the summer off. My dog gets the summer off. No more running miles and miles and miles. It's time to chill out, so to speak, with your animals. Well, thank you so much. You've been really awesome. I've learned a few things. I don't know about you guys, especially about heat stroke. You don't really think, you think about heat stroke in kids and people, but you don't really think about your animals having heat stroke, especially your cats.
Yeah.
You know, that's good to know. Cats don't pant. I did not know that cats don't pant.
Cats shouldn't pant.
Cats shouldn't pant, okay? Excuse me, let me re-say that. Cats shouldn't pant. If your cat is panting, call your veterinarian. So you are from the Verde Vet Hospital, which is located at 1201 East Cherry Street in Cottonwood. If they have any questions, they can give you a call and check you out. And what's the most common thing that you see with pets in the summertime? What are people bringing their pets in for?
Oh, summer-specific stuff. Bug bites are probably the biggest one. Insect bites. So that, you know, this giant swollen head.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. My dog liked to eat bees. Yeah, she's kind of gotten out of that. But yeah, the whole muzzle. Oh, that was very scary. I've actually been there. We're patients of you guys because of you should have seen that. It was very scary. Well, thank you very much. Dr. Jennifer Gumma-Wagner here from the Verde Vet Hospital. Thank you so much. And stick around because we've got a lot more Verde Valley experience for you.
Son, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
Welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. My next guest is Erin Koenig, and she is a body advocate, licensed massage therapist, and national board certified massage therapist. Those are very, very long title there. One of my favorite people on the planet. If you didn't know, you may not have heard of the term body advocate, but a body advocate is someone who truly cares about the body as a whole, which is something we usually don't think about our body as a whole. You care about the empowerment of the person living in it, which is a really big, important part of our health. So that's very something to think about. So Erin, thank you so much for the work that you do.
Hi, thank you.
And thank you for being on the show too.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. So your focus is to educate people and to help them learn more about their bodies so they begin to trust their innate wisdom and their abilities and become really empowered in themselves.
Yeah, people often think they have this whole mind, body, spirit thing, and they address them as if they are different things. And I made up the term body advocate because I felt like there was not a great understanding of how the body worked as a whole organism. You know, the cells in our brains are not separate from the cells in our bodies. They're constantly going back and forth, and everything that we do and think and feel and eat becomes part of that cellular matrix that is our body. So trying to help find that connection. I mean, I know that some people, like when you have a shoulder pain, you wish somebody could take your shoulder off, hammer into submission, and stick it back on.
Right.
But unfortunately, that's not really the way it works. People tend to disassociate themselves from their ailments or from their injuries and not really taking into account, you know, like, oh, I need to have my hormones checked, oh, I need to have this checked. And whereas those do play an important role in understanding, it's also, you know, everything that we feel causes a chemical reaction as well in our body, which does influence the integrity of our cells, which does influence the functioning of our organs, which then in turn influences how we feel. So it's just kind of that roundabout way of making that connection for people.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on that we may not have thought about.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that we can do to help our bodies and help our connection with the whole, and one of those things is massage, correct?
Absolutely, and it really starts from birth. You know, I am a huge advocate of infant massage, and especially infant massage given by fathers and teaching them how to do that. The bond forms with the infants because of touch. Okay, so touch is as essential to us as food. Infants that are left in orphanages that were not picked up or touched on a regular basis had a 98% infant mortality rate. It is essential to our human survival. Touch is information. It's how our neural pathways are built. It's how we know that this is where we are. So it starts at birth. It starts with infant massage. It helps build that bond between mother and baby, between father and baby. You know, fathers don't have to feed the baby in order to bond with the baby. And so I have a whole other thing about parenting, but massage really does start, you know, and touch really starts with that thing. So there are so many benefits in getting massage. You know, some of them are to help us feel better. You know, some of them are to help increase our circulation, help break up scar tissue, all of these, you know, technical, yes, they do break up scar tissue. It does help your muscles move more individually from each other, which does help prevent injuries in the long run. And there's also that aspect of requiring human touch. And there have been clients in my past that I've had where I am the only person in their life that gives them that human touch. And it's essential for our emotional as well as our physical survival.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's that aspect of it, as well as just recovering from injury, all the physiological benefits. It increases our happy hormone, to be like not technical about it, and it decreases our stress hormone. So
that's the most important thing to keep in mind. Increases the happy hormone and decreases the stress hormone.
There's a lot of, you know, technical physiological talk that comes around to basically that result.
Yeah, right. Touch is good.
Touch is good. Touch is essential. We need it.
That's true. I mean, I read that 90% of disease is stress related.
Yep. The stress hormone that's released in high times of stress is cortisol, and that in prolonged periods engages our fight or flight. thing. It really taxes our adrenal system. It'll shred the arterial walls. It really puts a lot of stress on our heart, and heart disease is the #1 issue in the country.
Right.
And there's a lot of other things that contribute to heart disease, but stress is definitely a factor in pretty much every disease, because our bodies are so busy trying to survive that it can become very difficult to have a positive thought.
Right.
It's basically a chemical soup that is a neurotoxin. It kills brain cells. It hurts our systems. And so getting regular massage where it can release oxytocin, which is that happy hormone, inhibits the release of cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and then we feel better and our bodies get a break from trying to survive, and we can actually live instead.
Right, yeah, and relax and just be, rather than run, 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 go, 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 freaked out all the time.
Yeah, there's a reason why I think that the present is called the present, because it's a gift. You don't have to be anywhere else or do anything in the moment in which you are just being present. You're like, this is where I'm at.
Right.
I don't have to worry about what I have to do later. I don't have to worry about what I did yesterday. I'm just here in this moment, and that is a gift.
That is, and most people don't think of it that way. You don't think of, this is where I am right now, and I don't have to think about this or that, because the whole time I'm going, I got to think about this, and I got to think about that, and then I got to do this and that and the other thing, and then, next thing you know, your blood pressure's through the roof, and those veins are popping out on your forehead, and life goes haywire. But simple touch really helps. The human body is wired for that. We're wired for so much more than we give ourselves credit for.
Very
and
true.
Really getting in touch with our bodies connects the minds, connects the souls, and creates a whole happy person, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's important to look at all aspects of it, because really how we think and how we feel does play a role in how we feel physically.
Yeah.
And how we feel physically then comes back and plays a role in how we think and how we feel. 'Cause if we feel like crap, it's like one of the most exhausting places to be is in chronic pain.
Yes.
If you're just in pain all the time, that leads to depression. It leads to, not sleeping very well, which becomes this really bad cycle.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
once you get in it, it's hard to get out of it.
Yeah. So it's really good to address all aspects of it. Bodywork is great, but you got to be present with it.
That's right.
I can't fix anybody.
Yeah.
Right. I can help facilitate.
There you go.
The healing that they want to do on their own.
That's great.
I can spend 3 hours doing body work on somebody, and if they don't want to feel better, if they don't take an active role in wanting to change, nothing's going to happen.
That's kind of how it works. You don't want to change, you won't. Everything stays the same unless something changes.
You have to take an active role in receiving body work, too.
That is true.
Erin, you have to want to change.
That's great. Thank you so much for all that information. If you guys want some more information, you can go to bodyadvocate.net. There's tons and tons of information about everything from massage to essential oil to energy to all kinds of good stuff. There's so much information out there. Please go out, search, be well. Erin Koenig, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thanks, Jen.
Don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
I'm here now with Michael L. Brown, who is a master of science and social work, also a licensed psychotherapist in private practice for over 20 years, who focuses exclusively now on past life regression therapy and spiritual counseling. Now, he's here to enlighten us about past lives and past life regression, what that looks like, sounds like, what that is, and how it benefits us. Michael, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Jen.
Oh, thank you. And this is such an amazing topic with so much depth and so much going on that it's impossible to even squeeze a little tiny little minute piece of it into the show, but we're going to try.
Very good. I'm ready.
Start to finish. Let's go. Ready?
Sure.
Go. No. Tell us a little bit about past life regression and what that can do for us.
Past life regression is a psychotherapeutic interventive modality. To speak English, past life regression is a technique, a method for accessing memories of past lives we have lived. In accessing the memories, all manner of breakthroughs and clearing and healing can transpire of both an emotional or psychological and a spiritual and a physical nature. So it's a very powerful form of therapy.
Right, right. And a couple of examples of maybe how that works is perhaps in a past life, if you've been a wounded soldier, and in this life you've brought forward this chronically, what's wrong with my shoulder all the time, you can bring that to light and perhaps heal that.
You really can, and I know that sounds phenomenal to the people who view your show. And it does, in terms of what happens in that sort of therapy, challenge one's belief system a bit. But if they roll with it, those who are least informed about it often have the most phenomenal of healing experiences.
Sure, and it's pretty amazing, and you're working on a cellular memory level.
You are.
Yeah,
yes.
Which there's a lot going on in there. You know, you see how we're pushing this together here, and you're carrying all these hurts and experiences and traumas and into this life, and it's affecting this one right here, right now, which is the one we want to have be wonderful and fabulous, and it's an amazing form of therapy for something like that.
It is. It literally cast me out of my normative psychotherapeutic practice, which I'd done for about 15 years. For the last 7.5 years, all I've done is past life regression therapy and spiritual counseling. And what you're referring to there is something called cellular memory. The soul, which we all have, a body and a soul, the soul possesses cellular memory. As such, it can remember every life it's ever lived, every body it's ever been in, every experience it's ever had, everything it's ever said to anyone or done. And so if you have been traumatized in the past, in another life, the soul holds on to that memory, much like muscle memory. People have memories of traumas in their muscles as well, and those are often released during massage therapy. The soul carries forward the memories of the trauma. In past life regression therapy, we were able to elicit that memory, and the person themselves, the client, realizes from whence that particular pain or phobia or anxiety or depressive disorder originally came. And in that comes incredible healing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, why do I do this that way, and why do I keep doing this? And you find out, well, gee, you've been doing it for a very, very long time prior to this, and it makes so much sense. It clicks, and you go, oh, you mean I don't have to do that anymore?
Yes, and it manifests in a variety of ways. I worked with a woman recently who had a pain up here at the top of her spinal column where her head meets her spinal column, and it had been with her whole life. When I regressed her, and this is most often the case, spirit props up toward the client like one pearl, the life that has relevance to that which they're most struggling with in this life. And what she found out in her regression was that she had hung herself in the 1800s, and the knot where the rope had been was right where her pain was. And when she came out of her regression, there was no more pain.
Wow. That's amazing.
It was.
I bet there's a lot of amazing transformations that happen during a past life regression therapy session that are just mind-blowing. They're life-changing. And it's not something that most people are open to, but I encourage you to think about this. This is a way that you might get to the bottom of something that's been bothering you for a very, very long time and see that it's a historical pattern for you. It's in your cellular memory. It's not something that you've done in this time. It's something that you did like way back in the 1500s, maybe?
Exactly, yes. The first person I ever regressed and experienced an instantaneous clearing or healing of a chronic back pain she had in the upper center part of her back. She'd been a Mohawk Indian struck with an arrow hundreds of years ago in that place.
And still her cells carried the memory of that pain, and it plagued her in this
Yes.
particular life.
Precisely.
Yeah. It's a really amazing thing, and it's wonderful that you've gotten into it, and it's so enlightening for folks. And there's a lot of information out there and a lot of books, and you recommend a couple of books folks might want to look into?
Sure, if you can grab a pen or a pencil. The first I would recommend is Dr. Brian Weiss's Miracles, well, got it right here.
Hey, wow.
Miracles Happen. It's his latest book. There are 4 of my stories in this book, I'm proud and pleased to say. But these are stories from all over the world, from regressionists and from people who were regressed, who had miraculous experiences. His first book was called Many Lives, Many Masters. That too is a fabulous read. If you pick it up, you may not be able to put it down. It's a thin little paperback, but terribly informative. It tells the story of how he begrudgingly accepted. He was very much the empiricist, begrudgingly accepted that past lives are real. And so he's pretty much known now as the world's leading proponent of and teacher of past life regression therapy.
Wow. That's great. Yeah, Many Lives, Many Masters. I know that I've heard of that. You guys have probably heard of that if you've been on this planet. You've heard of that book. And I did not know that was, I have not read it. I did not know that was about. So he begrudgingly went into that and shared his information with everyone and has continued on to do really wonderful work.
Yes, it's rather an incredible story. He started out at Columbia where he graduated summa cum laude. Then he went to Yale Medical School where he graduated summa cum laude as a psychiatrist. He did not believe that this young woman he was working with was sharing truly past lives, but after she shared 89 of them, and he recorded them all, he had to admit to himself this was true.
Wow. That's really amazing.
Yes.
That's very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. It's very exciting to hear that. There's so much more out there. We get kind of boxed into our little worlds and closed down. And life is so much more for the living, and to enjoy it, you want all these tools at your disposal. So if you want some more information from Michael, DejaVuLives.com. The Deja Vu Past Lives. Wow. Put that one down.
Or you can simply just Google Michael Brown Sedona, and you'll find me.
Lots of great information on that website. Lots of great stuff out there on past lives. Lots of great books. So get out there, get informed. I encourage you to tweak your belief system a little bit there. You might find out something that you really needed to know. Thank you so much for watching the Verde Valley Experience. Don't go away because we'll be right back. We got lots more good stuff.
Here in northern Arizona and throughout Yavapai County, people count on Orkin Pest Control. With over 100 years of combined experience, nobody knows how to protect your home or your business from harmful or annoying pests like the Orkin Man. To start service, contact your Northern Arizona Orkin Pest Control. In the Verde Valley, call 567-5100 or Orkin Pest Control in the Prescott area at 775-8772.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline. There are now more registered voters in Arizona who say that they are independent than those who claim a particular party. If that's you, independents can vote in the primary elections after they select a party ballot. You fill it out and mail it back. If you vote at your polling place on Election Day, they will ask which ballot you'd like. Even though you're not a registered party member, your right to vote is protected and your vote will count.
A message from the League of Women Voters of Arizona.
When the city lights fade, our lights get brighter. When your night needs life, ours comes alive. When you want to do something different, we say, come out and play. Come experience the new Mountain Springs Buffet, all you can eat starting at just $7.
Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, voted #1 casino in Arizona 15 years in a row.
Welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. I'm now here at the Sedona Heritage Museum with Ron Mawson, the president of the Sedona Historical Society. Ron, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us in this amazing museum.
Well, we're pleased to have you here, and we're pleased for the publicity we'll get out of this.
You guys have done a gorgeous job. The artifacts and the information that you have in here are quite extensive.
They are. The Society's been in existence for about 25 years. The museum's been open for 15. And we've been collecting through the 25-year period. And for the last 15 years, have been putting a lot of it on display and open to the public 7 days a week, essentially 365 days a year.
Right. You're closed Christmas, though.
Christmas, New Year's, a couple other major holidays.
But otherwise, 7 days a week from 11 to 3.
Right. So. Totally staffed by volunteers.
And you've got a great website, which is sedonamuseum.org. They can check you out there and get special events. And you've got something really special going on right now. You guys are working on renovating the old telegraph office.
Right. It's probably the largest single project that we've undertaken at the Society. And we're very excited about it and what it's going to bring, and bring back some of the history of the movies that were made in Sedona.
That's right. Now, the telegraph office was roughly around 100 years old.
Yeah, let me give you just a little history on the telegraph office itself. It originally was constructed in Winona, Arizona, as a small station for the Atlantic and Pacific Railroad. We don't know the exact date of construction, so if anybody out there's got any information about it in Winona, man, get a hold of me. You can edit that out. And it sat there unused for some time, and in 1946, when John Wayne was getting ready to film the first movie that he did as producer, Angel and the Bad Man, they needed a movie set, and Otto Hollerman from the area owned the property where Sedona West subdivision is today. That's the subdivision where all the streets are named after movies, Station West and Gun Fury and all of those. Otto moved the building from Winona down to the movie set in West Sedona, and it was used in the movie Angel and the Bad Man. John Wayne, producer, star, and Gail Russell, co-star. There are some good stories floating around town about those two.
I bet.
And as after the movie was filmed, and the set remained, but there was no need for the telegraph station for subsequent movies. So Otto moved it out onto his ranch property off of Upper Red Rock Loop Road. Added on to it, used the telegraph office itself essentially as a great room, and they added on kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, all the other things necessary to make it a residence. Otto and Sally Hollerman at one point had a split up. Sally lived out there for quite a few years and lived on the property. She eventually built a new place out in the same area, and then the property sat vacant except for a few renters for quite a few years. A year ago, we discovered through Kate Joy, who lives in the area, that the building still existed and was owned by a fellow, John Marmaduke, down in Jupiter, Florida, owned a piece of property out there. And so we contacted John, found out that he would be more than willing to donate the structure to the Historical Society. So we accepted that offer and then got started on both our fundraising and scheming on where we were going to put it and how we were going to do the work. So eventually it was decided the best place would be here at Jordan Park. We initiated a $100,000 funding campaign, which we at this point have completed. And thanks to the great support of the community, we just don't have to go begging for money for this one anymore. And we're happy because it's not the thing we like to do. Sure. We will restore the building to the condition it was in 1946 for the movie, complete with all the accessories that show in the movie. And we hope that we'll be open less than a year from now.
Wow.
It's all volunteer labor, so it goes slowly with us old guys. We only work a couple hours a day and then decide it's time for a long break.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
So that's kind of the history of the building.
That's wonderful. And you're going to make it as authentic as you can related to where the movie was as a working telegraph office, so the kids will be able to play around with the telegraph machine.
Yes, yes. We've got a telegraph key and sounding board that we'll be putting in. We also have a computer animated one that the kids can use.
Wow.
And we're hoping that at some point they'll be actually able to send a telegraph via the internet back to their parents, and it'll appear as an old telegraph.
Get out. Wow, that's really cool.
So it's kind of marrying the old technology with the new.
It sure is. Who'd have thunk? Wow, a telegraph over the internet.
Yeah, why not?
That's just great. What a great idea.
Well, we used for communication to our donors and people that were interested, used a form of an 1890s telegraph. And it's been very successful with people. They actually read it because everybody gets way too much stuff via email. So this was very successful.
Very exciting. Well, that's wonderful, and congratulations.
We'll have to put you on the telegraph list.
Please do. I would like to experience that.
Okay, we will.
There's so many wonderful things here at the Sedona Heritage Museum. Inside the old Jordan homestead, everything is set up with the kitchen and the living room, and there's pianos, and all the artifacts are wonderful. And the telegraph office now in this beautiful park with the peaches and the apples coming out everywhere and the flowers. It's well worth a visit, and 7 days a week. How do you do it? That's great.
We do it because of our volunteers.
Yeah.
We don't have a paid executive director. We run on a pretty tight budget, but we generally will have between 10 and 12,000 volunteer hours per year.
That's great.
That are donated. Typically we'll have 3 docents on duty each day. And during the summer sometimes we cut back to 2 due to traffic and travel.
Sure. Well, that's great. So definitely come by and see us up here in Uptown Sedona on Jordan Road to the Jordan Historical Park at the Sedona Heritage Museum. Don Mawson, the president of the Sedona Historical Society, thank you so much for having us.
Well, thank you for coming. Come back.
I will definitely be back soon.
Good.
And we'll be
Thank
right
you.
back for more of the Verde Valley Experience.
Here in northern Arizona and throughout Yavapai County, people count on Orkin Pest Control. With over 100 years of combined experience, nobody knows how to protect your home or your business from harmful or annoying pests like the Orkin Man. To start service, contact your Northern Arizona Orkin Pest Control. In the Verde Valley, call 567-5100 or Orkin Pest Control in the Prescott area at 775-8772.
Hi, I'm Sarina. It's almost election time again. Voting is a very important part of making a democracy work. Like many of you, I've signed up to receive an early ballot by mail each election. But because it comes weeks before the election, it's easy to just put it aside and forget it. But keep it handy as you learn about the candidates and issues. When you're done voting, the rest is simple. Just put the ballot in the white envelope and sign it. Then put that envelope in the larger yellow envelope. Just seal it and drop it in any mailbox.
A message from the League of Women Voters of Arizona.
When the city lights fade, our lights get brighter. When your night needs life, ours comes alive. When you want to do something different, we say, come out and play. Come experience the new Mountain Springs Buffet. All you can eat starting at just $7.
Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, voted #1 casino in Arizona 15 years in a row.
God lent me you to love, to hold. God lent me you for how long, I don't know. But I will love you like it's the last day of my life. And thank heaven you lit up my life. God lent me you to cherish, to kiss. God lent me you to enjoy a little bliss. And I will love you like it's the last day of my life. And thank heaven you lit up my life. God lent me you while I'm on earth. God lent me you for this great rebirth. And I will love you like it's the last day of my life. And thank heaven you lit up my life.
Thank you so much for that. That was beautiful. We have Cara Marie with us today, an amazing singer, songwriter, artist here in the Verde Valley, and absolutely gorgeous. Got to say that too, with a gorgeous guitar, which is really amazing. It's not really an enormous guitar. She's just a little tiny little thing. It looks a little large on you, but it's such a beautiful thing you together. And your voice is beautiful, and your playing is wonderful. Would you share with us how you managed to write that song?
Well, this song, Jennifer, was just a spontaneous overflowing of gratitude. A person had come into my life that I just truly felt blessed by. And we never really know how long someone's going to be in our lives.
True.
And so it's important to show them how much we love them every opportunity that we get.
Yeah, that goes for everybody in your life. Really show them how much you love them, with your friends, your family. And music is a great way of expressing that. And you do a wonderful job in all your songs of expressing love and gratitude. You have a new CD out.
I do.
It's called Cara's Mosaic, I Surrender. It's really beautiful. Congratulations on the release of your CD.
Thank you so much.
And you've played a lot at a place called Angel Valley.
I have played at Angel Valley.
And you play other places too.
Yeah, I've played a couple places here in Sedona, and I was just in Las Vegas last weekend promoting my CD for the first time, and looking forward to going to New York later on this summer, and Pennsylvania, and sharing
World tour. Starting out. And you have a CD release party coming up July 5th, I think.
Yes, yes, from 4 to 6 at the Sedona Wine and Beer Company.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
There you go, a CD release party. You got to be there. That's great. So Now, where else do you get inspiration for your music from? You're so talented. You do so many other things. She's an amazing artist who does all this kind of things, and you're a healer, and you just do so much, and you have time to do this. I'm amazed. Being a mom, too, that's really amazing. But where do you find most of your inspiration from?
You know, it's really everywhere. People, just the spirit of everything, you know, just love, life, reflections of beauty. I mean, I feel things very deeply. I'm an empath, so I think that comes through in my music.
Definitely. Definitely. It's very moving. You can tell it's very heartfelt. There is a lot of love and gratitude expressed. It's a blessing to be able to hear it. You know, it's so nice to, I know I feel a lot calmer now. I don't know about you guys, but, you know. How long have you been playing?
Oh, I've been playing since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
My dad just taught me a couple chords, and I used to write, actually, just to make myself feel better when I was feeling low. And then my father taught me a couple chords, and then I started putting the chords with the words, and here I am.
Yeah, here you are today, starting off your world tour. That's really wonderful. And you write a lot of your own music, and it's all original, which is absolutely amazing, because I can't write music, so I'm always impressed with folks who can write music. And like I said, the fact that you have time to do that at all is really amazing. Tell us a little bit about the other things that you do, the healing and the art and all that.
Well, recently I began painting again, and really love the stars, and what I allowed myself for the first time to just really get abstract, rather than trying to make things look like, you know, they are and repeat it on canvas.
Sure.
To use energy and channel healing and use color and light, and to just create a vibrational piece that is reminds you, well, I call them starscapes.
All right.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's great. And that also comes through in your music, I have to say. It's a channeling of healing and grace just coming out in your songs, every one of your songs on your new CD, which is called Kara's Mosaic, I Surrender. That's really wonderful. karasmosaic.com. That'll get you to the website. Lots of good stuff. There are lots of beautiful pictures on it for sure. And you're going to play us another song. What's the next song called?
This last song I would love to play for you is called Remember Who You Are, and it just snuck its way onto the CD.
Yeah.
It was being mastered when I actually completed it, and then I was like, no, we got to get this song on there too. So I'm really proud of this one. It's really light and upbeat.
Awesome, and thank you so much for sharing it with us. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. It's a pleasure to listen to you and watch you play. So I very much appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And thank you all very much for watching another episode of the Verde Valley Experience. I look forward to seeing you next time. We'll have lots more good stuff for you.